Fuck it, I can.
There you go.
Let's try again.
Like that
Here,
shit
this time.
together. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
this time. Why don't you share the? Can you share the slideshow?
Yeah, no problem.
Try that out, because every time I want to share it, kicks us off. So everyone, welcome back. Late start, but good catching up. It, this episode is going to go over the feedback we received from the friends and family round. We Roger made this app. We put a lot of feedback into it
Created.
internally, and then we went ahead and sent it out to friends and family, and then we got feedback. And so now this is kind of the game plan afterwards. What do we do with the feedback? Because
Yep.
I mean, if we don't do anything, we're just going to be, in the same spot. So we have to be strategic to get the most out of our efforts from here on out. Because also at the same time, we don't want to take 2 years to roll out the next version. We want to, this is kind of like a every 2 weeks project for us. So we want to be efficient with it. So yeah, let's throw a slideshow up there. I mean, everyone can kind of see the data and insights or the data. Let's talk about some key takeaways from the data. We had a call a few days ago, went over it. The things that stuck out was the mobile versus desktop.
Yep.
That was the spotlight for sure. And then we can talk about the breakdown between friends and families.
Yeah, for sure. So like I think when we first started this, we didn't really know, how people were going to use this, like if they were going to use it, how people were going to use it. And I think we definitely have a lot to talk about like people like keeping people engaged in it and stuff. I think there's levers we can pull for that. But looking at the data specifically, I mean it makes sense. Most of our traffic came from mobile, right? And I think that was a miss on my part for sure that we can definitely take into the next iteration. We made it from a web-based perspective. Like I didn't even really give a shit about mobile when building it. Hindsight 2020, that was a dumb idea. But I think that now we can take a look at the app from a mobile first, web second perspective. And what the cool thing about that is Replit does allow for that to happen looking through it. Now, can you see my Replit screen right now?
Yeah, and real quick, I want to say it's not really that big of a miss because
Sure.
you built it on a desktop.
Yeah, for
Now,
sure.
now I know, speaking from my point of view, I shared it via Instagram link. I shared it through a text. I sent the link on a text that I sent to a few people. I just stayed away from emails because I figured, oh, if you want to open this at the gym, I know I looked at the stats too. Like most people, let's just call it 50-50. Look at their emails, desktop, cell phone. Like it's 50-50. But for something like this, I think since the message was sent on mobile, it's going to be open and experienced mobile.
Yeah.
So there was just a difference in how it was created and how you spend a majority of your time interacting with it as the developer, and then how the end user got it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's a lesson learned. The more data you get, the better you can build it off of. At first, excuse me, we were looking at this top devices breakdown. It was interesting because most of the opens were on Windows, but like that shifted over time, especially over the past 2 weeks, where like and it could have been like just me going in there on a web perspective, but a lot of the device opens ended up shifting to iOS. So I think that you blend iOS together, you blend, hey, they're on Safari, some of them are on Chrome, the majority are Chrome and Safari. Now we can think about the actual development perspective with that lens, you know what I'm saying, built in. So now we can go specifically to like dropping it from full size as we were building it to something like, okay, cool, like maybe, Galaxy or iPhone 16 Max, and now making it from that perspective versus like the one we were doing just in web before. And what that will allow us to do is like, oh, cool, like maybe we need some more padding here at the top between the nav and the actual hero. Maybe some of this can be a little bit smaller. And then when we go into like the hamburger and go to like community, maybe some of this can be, I think this is going to be the big one. We can clean a lot of this up to make it more pleasant from a mobile perspective, because on web it definitely looks a lot better when it's full size, but when you compact it down it does get very cluttered, which I think was some of the feedback. So that's all
Yeah.
fair. And I think that now we can take that, make a cool iteration before we go on to the next steps of it. I think we got a lot of good feedback. Again, I will say, like, it was pretty cool to see, like, hey, over the past week we almost had 300 people, right, come here. 300 270 over the past week alone, unique IP addresses. And that's without us putting any money into this, without us doing anything other than being like, bro, check this shit out, and then having them share with people and stuff like that. So I do think that even though, we don't have like crazy numbers, we also didn't put any money behind this. We're just really trying to figure out what are the levers, what are the steps we can pull now. And I think you had a good framework of how we do this. Is like, hey, let's send it out to people that we trust, get some good feedback, have them share it out themselves, and then we can take that feedback, really make it something pop for that next stage. And I think that's exactly the route that we should have taken. And I think that it's gonna pay some dividends down the road. This idea and or other ideas that we do in the future for sure.
And
But this made me
another, so we got that piece of information, kind of like the about the IPs, IP
yep,
addresses. We had the mobile versus desktop. You had the iOS versus Android breakdown. Was that one of them?
yep. Android
Uh,
versus iOS.
did you see anything of significance there?
For the iOS versus Android,
Yeah.
I think it makes it so
Oh
that
yeah, big
yeah,
chunk.
yeah, a huge chunk. But the interesting thing for this one was this just keeps getting bigger. This was actually like this size originally, and then it flipped. Like,
Mm,
so it was interesting how like iOS people used it more over time. We saw more iOS users come in specifically on Safari because this is a web-based app, right? You can't go in, and that was some of the feedback too. Like, hey, I thought this was gonna be on the App Store, And it's all right,
yeah.
cool. I think we can make a quick video because on my phone I made it into kind of like an app just by making it like saving it to my
Oh
homepage.
right. Save it. Yeah, save a website has a
Yeah, so now like I can't probably can't see it, but
blurred
I'm
out.
looking at
Yeah,
the button now here. I could click it and bring it up.
exactly.
So maybe that's a quick video we can make on YouTube to say,
Oh yeah,
okay, cool. Boom, those are some of the feedback. Here's how to say shortcut it to your desktop or your phone screen to
yeah.
that way.
Um, One of the other big data points was we know how many people we sent it out to, more or less. I know mine was about, I think 11. I'm looking at the list now, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe 12. So I was hitting like, let's just say between a 30 and a 42% conversion rate. And the
Yep.
conversion being measured has emails gathered.
Sure.
Um, and I think when you add up all the signups, there was
Yep.
11 signups between all of us. Um,
12.
during our
Sorry,
pre-show
12.
call, we
12 signups.
12 signups between
Counts.
oh, I noticed one of my guys was double, so I don't know if that's who you're counting um
Name it.
on there. And then yeah, me too.
I count 12. Hey.
So 13. Julian, that's 14. Um, but yeah, so we were able to get that conversion rate. That's internally, but also just whole. I think we did the math. Out of everyone invited, it was like a 6%
Yep.
conversion rate. And
Yep.
you
That's when
said
we looked at it
industry
yesterday.
standard is what?
Yeah, that's when we looked at it yesterday. And like overnight, we got like, I don't know, 60 more people like that came over overnight. I don't know where they're coming from, but 60 different unique IPs came to us in that time. So that dropped our conversion rate to 4%. But still, when you look at it from a conversion rate perspective, you want to be between like good is considered from 2 to 5%, right? If you get 2
Hmm.
to 5% of your people coming to your landing page, giving you some shit, that's good, right? And we got 4% considering all the number, like the most recent numbers, which is still good. In that good range, right? Maybe even on the higher end of the good range. So
Yeah.
still pretty awesome.
One other piece of information I saw there, because I'm just looking at all possible information just to see if there's
Sure.
anything to take away from anywhere, is
Yeah,
I
yeah.
looked at the timestamps that Replit gave us on that spreadsheet of when each person actually signed up for
Yep.
the newsletter. And there was a lot of late nights, there's a lot of early mornings. It averaged out to 4 p.m., so it skews more on the back half of the day. But maybe that's something we look at whenever we think about, okay, if we're sending this out to a massive amount of people, or we're doing invites again, maybe we send it in the evening, maybe we send it on the
Yeah.
weekends.
I
And
like it.
that's more likely to have that traction versus you send it on a Monday and they wait till the
Yeah.
weekend to subscribe.
Yeah, that's interesting because some of the feedback that I got when I sent it out was like, "Oh, cool, like yeah, I'll check it out later when I'm working out." So that kind of like maybe lines up to like, hey, people are not working out. I'm a fucking idiot and I wake up at, before 5 a.m. to work out and shit. That's why you get some like spammy texts and for me like at that time. But I think that
That's where
and
we
and
get
I
text
see
bombed.
it when I go to the gym in the evening just to do cardio now, but when I do,
Packed.
it's packed, dude.
First day of
Packed.
school.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair. People are doing it, later in the evening for their evening workouts. That's when they're checking it out. That's when they've done their workout or plan to do their workout. So yeah, it's probably fair.
What I did next is I went ahead and put all the feedback that you had on that spreadsheet, plus some of the
Yeah,
ones that I got to add from my friends. Throw up the word cloud. I threw it, fed it to a word cloud, and then this is the visual we got.
sure.
Um, Now some of these contextually, might have a different meaning. Where one might so it just, but it's generally, um, I know some of the takeaways I got were just like, hey, is this spam? Like, is this you actually texting me this on Instagram,
Yeah,
or
yeah. I got a couple of
you
those.
know,
Yeah,
so maybe there's a better way to format that text where people know, like, hey, it is me. I'm not a robot. Like, I didn't get hacked.
yeah.
You know,
You send a
XYZ.
picture of yourself in today's newspaper. Like,
Right,
first of all,
right,
I didn't get kidnapped, and also it is me.
right. Hey, yeah, and maybe that's a viral, funny way to send that, a humorous way, and then it's funny if people can share that. So. Just another creative angle there. Is anything I wanted to see what pops out to you on here? Just looking at this, which one pulls at you?
I think the iOS was the big one, just because I didn't didn't really think about that in the beginning, which probably should have. The location one also, just because that's also something that was an early call out for you that I added to the feature list that I just haven't like. I think we need to talk about how we do that, but that was something that like a few people, like a handful of people, like mentioned. Oh, cool! Like, it would be cool if there was like a some type of geolocation, tagging feature. So still trying to think about like what that can be. Also, that kind of sucks too because when I was looking at like the API for Google Maps, they don't make it easy. Like they want, you got to do
Oh,
some
right,
stuff.
right, right. Yeah.
Yes. So I think that like we have to think about how we prioritize the feedback with the effort and the impact. But I do think that that's an interesting one because if we figure that out, we'll be able to start like adding maps. Like I had this one idea. I was running in the neighborhood and like I was like, damn, there's no fucking sidewalk here. Like this is dangerous. I'm gonna die. And then I was like, oh, it'd be cool if I could like in Houston like map out like the my running route based on like places that have good sidewalks. So but
Mhm.
then again, that needs a geolocation thing. But I think that can really go into, people that are, because I see people all the time in neighborhoods running on the roads or running on the sidewalks, running on the roads because there's no sidewalk. So I think that
Yeah.
there's ways we can like add cool features and pull in some of this feedback in ways that are maybe interesting that people will find value in eventually.
One of my guys said, "What is this? Is this Strava? Is this like a Strava competitor?" I'm like, "Well, season one is a Strava, but what it could be is a Strava for everything."
Well, yeah, and then that's what I like about coming from this perspective is like Strava, you know what you're getting. You're getting running. This isn't just for running because I work out different than you and you work out different from Julian. We all work out differently together, but this specifically maybe can normalize the effort that we're doing to stay together and still maybe even competitive if we wanted to be, but a way to relatively see like apples to something like apples. But if you're using Strava to run and someone else is doing yoga, those you're never going to really be able to easily compare or have fun together, because you're kind of in different worlds there, in different effort or impact levels.
I think every active brand has tried to create a social network of their own, um,
Sure.
and maybe where they fail is that they just represent one vertical apiece, and
Yeah.
not everyone's workout ecosystem is just one type of workout. And I don't want to have to log in my Nike app for a run and then go to my other app for my swimming and then go to another one from Peloton for cycling. Like I don't want to have
Exactly.
to do all. If I could have one that just plugs it all up, that'd be nice. I know everyone's
Yeah.
try has tried. Maybe Apple has tried to do that with its fitness thing, and that's
It's
probably the closest way.
very
But
slow.
it's just too generic. It's just too
Yeah, I don't
Apple.
like Apple's one. When we started thinking about this, I looked at competitors and I mean, I didn't see anything that was good, honestly. I think different things at different pieces. Like one of the feedbacks I got as well, from my brother actually was like, "Hey, yeah, this is kind of cool, but like I use this app specifically like for working out. He wants to be able to track his workout, his literally weight workout. Like, hey, I did this many sets, this many reps, click yes." And it's interesting because I track mine in a weird fucking spreadsheet. So if I
Oh yeah,
can
right, right, right.
yeah, dude. Let me try to pull it up real quick. I basically, I mean, I track everything in here. I track how much weight I've lost. I track like all kind of crazy
Right.
shit. So like maybe there's something that we can do from
And I
that
run off
perspective.
of a Apple, like a note in
Yeah,
my
man.
iPhone.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got like I mean, and this goes back, like this goes back in terms of like there's hidden stuff in here too
Right,
from
right,
like
right.
2012. But like I track in here, like, hey, I did, for chest day, I did, shoulder, like I do full body workouts with certain emphasize, I don't know, on
Yeah.
certain ones. So on my chest day, I'll do a full body workout, but more chest workouts. So, what I'm saying? Like, I'll track everything in here, say, yes, I did it, no, I didn't. And I'm also able to track myself in here. Like, I put my own, like, weight in here. I just measure myself today. So that goes as far back as I go. Just today, spoiler, weighed 181, which is okay, but my waistline is also, like, relatively the same. So that tells me, yeah, I'm gaining weight, but I'm not gaining weight in my waist, which is what I care about. So, okay, maybe I'm
Hold on.
gaining.
That one part where it says doctor gave me 6 months, I almost read to live, but it said to lose 5 to 10 pounds.
My
Like,
doctor was
fuck,
like,
that's how you're gonna drop that news?
My doctor was like, bro, you something needs to change, dog. And I said, doc, like, let me try to lose weight first, you
Yeah.
know?
So you could have
Yeah,
been a serial
I was
killer
like,
is
can
what
I
I'm
get on
seeing with all this
Ozempic?
tracking, but thank
He was
God it's
like, I
going
was
into
like, can I
your
get on Ozempic? And he
health.
was like, I wouldn't want you to, but you technically could. And I was like, so
Anyone
motherfucker,
can get injected.
so I'm gonna just get the easy pill. If I can't figure this out, I'm gonna just start jacking the shit out of myself with that
Nah,
thing.
nah, nah. Don't do it. Then you're just gonna have a big
Nah,
old
I don't
head.
want to. Man, I've heard some horror stories. I won't say anyone's name because they are using the app, so they might check out our. I'm not gonna say anything, but they gave me a story, and I was like, damn, like it can be bad, dude. It can be
Yeah.
real bad in terms of not just addictive, but like also really horrible for you. But you're skinny as shit. So, you know what I'm
Right, right,
saying?
right. So it's the substance. Like, what do you want more? What's more
Yeah.
important, the perception or the actual mechanics of your body?
I will say an interesting part of an interesting experience of doing this has been being able to talk to people a little bit more about their fitness and wellness journey. So I think also learning a lot about people. I think we're onto something for sure in terms of like figuring out the whole health and wellness craze right now. It's about integrative fitness, bro. It's about people that want to connect with other people when they want to work out alone when they want to, but also want kind of like and I say that as I'm holding a big ass beer.
Right.
But it's also about people, maybe this spins off into our own, gym where we have like a fucking, like a bathhouse workout gym that has a sauna and a I don't know, like a dunk, one of those fucking cold dunk tanks, because people like want all those things together and they're not getting it from, the worlds that are available right now. You know what I'm saying?
So it's a gym with multiple cubicles and different workouts going on in each
I
one,
don't see why you
different
couldn't do something
resources in
like,
each one.
a free weight spot that has its own kind of like training perspective, that has just like a green area outside that if you want to do that stuff, that has, yeah, okay, I'm done. I can go dunk in this cold, like there's two cold baths there. I can dunk in there, then go into the sauna or, get that
Yeah.
heat treatment too. I think there's a world in Houston where that doesn't exist, that it would be really beneficial for it to exist.
Yeah, I think people will like it, especially if it has more of a less barriers between people and like you said, two ice baths right next to each other. You could be next to a stranger, just having sharing that experience, making new
Exactly.
friends,
So
just like the
first things
sauna.
first, man. We build an audience. We figure out what people want, what they need, and connect with that community, and really like not just connect, but be in the community. I think it's gonna be fun.
The
It already
why
is
is
fun.
all the why is always going to stay the same. We know people need to be active. It's good for their health. How can we make it more engaging? How can we make it more collaborative? How can we make it more fun? Make it easier. I mean, I can sit on my ass
Connected
and play video
fitness,
games for
man.
like 3 hours unimpeded. Like, how can I put that same like, oh, I can't wait to play video games for 3 hours. How can I put that into I can't wait to go work out for 3 hours. I can't wait to go do something
Connected
active
fitness,
for three
integrated
hours.
fitness. Those are two different things, but still
Yeah.
kind of very, very related. And I
Yeah.
think that there's definitely a hole in the market for that gyms aren't covering, that apps aren't covering. So why can't we cover both of them? Like why
Or
can't we be
maybe,
that?
or maybe we just go full Black Mirror and we just create avatars and your avatar's working out the same way they have those games where you're cutting grass. Like, all right, what would you cut grass in like the cut grass cutting simulator, but you're not actually cutting the grass outside. It's like you have
Oh,
your little
dude.
avatar
I
doing
saw those on
that's
Twitch. Like it was like
yeah.
Garden Simulator, and I was like, I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Sick.
Before we run out of time, let's look at the next slide. It's
Yeah.
let's see, what is it titled? So the primary objectives, based off of the feedback, number one is making it an app experience. So make it app facing, make it have that look and feel of an app. Um, a website is gonna have a website. I'm learning now from the feedback and just kind of really taking a deeper thought on it. A website, you know. it has everything on it and you know what you need. You scroll down to a certain part of it and you interact with the things you need to interact with. An app has more of that word intuitive with it, whereas it's like I'm kind of funneling you into doing this one function, and then from there the next function comes up and that's all your screen is. And from there the next
Yeah.
function comes up and that's your next screen. And it just leads you down that pipeline until you get the end result. Now, a website is just all the resources at once, and you picking and choosing what you need, or you do your deep dive, or you stay where you're going to be. And so, it would have been cool to see like and this is not a knock on you or anything, it's just the limitations of everything. Seeing the heat map of where people interacted with our app on
Yeah.
the friends and family round, just to kind of see, all right, with no context, us just shooting out to people, brief little paragraph there. What are they interacting with? What are they like when they're exploring, when they're engaging with it? What are they touching? What are they, what sticks out to them as a point of interest? But in an app, if you have your one function tracking calories per se, there you go. You just press the calorie tracker, you put your numbers in there, done. But on a website, you go to what's it, bodybuilding.com. That tracker might be under an article, it might be under a video, and so you have to go find the tracker.
Yeah.
So two different experiences, but if we're making this an app, if this is something where someone's going to pull it out at the gym, we wanted to have that easy, take it out, one button, already there. Let me log this workout. Oh, look, Roger did that workout this morning. There you go. Bam. Tag them in it, whatever. So we need to be give that app experience. One call out that I heard from one of my buddies was the brand identity. He said, I know it's early days. He's like, but if you're gonna have, put this in front of people, you go ahead and do that extra push to have a logo, have a color scheme, have a branding to it where people already start associating, what is what based off of just the look and feel of something.
Mm.
And I think Replit allows you to be able to do that as well. Or you go full beta and you just black and white it just like, no, this is special. This is behind the scenes. We haven't even
Yep.
put on the makeup yet. This is just pure nuts and bolts. This is the guts of what this does. And people are only worried about the functionality of it. So a decision we has to be made on that, how we want to proceed on that. And then the main thing. So there's a lot of features. You've done a great job of building it out and adding a lot of stuff to it. Um, just making sure that if it's for the social part, make that the front facing thing, make that the easiest thing to interact with. We're gonna get cut off. Go ahead.
No, no, not at all. Are we gonna get cut off? Oh, less than 1 minute. Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Oh, hold on. We're gonna hit all the
Instant
slides.
reaction, quick reaction.
Hold on. I can't get where's my cursor at? We hit all the slides. Next
There you
episode,
go.
that create this three distinct marketing channels. I'm very excited about that one. Run money into one fundraising. Let's see. Hey, let's try to get some money going on. Maybe we just do our own money in there. Try to see if we can get some Google ads or something. I think we did a lot of great work. We have some good historical numbers. So I think we can use that in order to say, hey, this is baseline for friends and family round. Let's see if we can meet or beat that and we get really targeted with what we're doing, right? We know